for about 2 years, I just felt like God was saying, it's time to go back to the village. It's time to go back to the village. And God just closed doors and opened doors. And since I've been back, I've had a blast. I just love it. So much has changed through the years. And it's so much fun working with Christian house parents, with Christian support staff. I just love having that support. I love seeing that. And the kids are so much fun. They are just a joy to work with. And I laugh and giggle and see some of the things that they're doing as young as children and go, yeah, I probably did that when I was a kid too, and it's just a lot of fun. And I think they're keeping me young. They're just so much fun. I went to Fair Manor just to train on my return. I was there for 3 weeks. Went back home, and Karen called me and said, can you go to Brookhaven? They don't have any relief staff, so I did. And then being out at the girls' house and the boys' house, letting those wonderful people have some time off. Before I started doing that, a couple of the 2 couples there, they had gone 30 or 40 days without any time off, and that's hard to do. I usually get up about an hour before I get the children up and get myself dressed, and then I get the kids up. And after I get myself dressed, I'm also preparing food and getting things ready for breakfast, and then I get the kids up, and the kids get up, they make up their beds, they come and have breakfast, and then they finish getting dressed, doing whatever little chores they need to do before school. And then we all get on the van, and I drive them to school, and we sing and have a good time on the way to school. I hope by doing that we're getting everyone off on a good start. After that, my day is pretty much free to do what I need to do. I usually go back and start figuring out what we're having for dinner and start doing prep work for that, because I like to have that completed before the kids get home from school, so that I have plenty of time to help them with homework. And the kids, one of the things we do is we teach the children how to do their own laundry. And so I will help them while they're at school. I'll change clothes over from the washer to the dryer, but I'll leave them for them to fold up. I'm trying to teach them some responsibility. And then if there's any laundry I can start for someone else, and I will do that. But that's not time consuming in a day with the kids learning how to do their laundry. And then I have time to sit down and read and do my Bible study for the day and have some Wanda time, and then go pick the kids up from school, and they come in, we have snacks, and try to get them to go outside and get some fresh air and sunshine for a little bit, and then homework time and dinner, bath time, and then some quiet time before bedtime, some TV time sometimes just to get them calmed down, devotions before they go to bed. And then, just like all children, sometimes they don't want to go to bed, and I need to go to the bathroom, I need a drink of water, I didn't give you a hug. I come out, one little child, she's so sweet, she's just a little cutie. It never fails. She comes to my room after she goes to bed and goes, I forgot to give you a hug. So I get about a 3-minute hug, and I'm going, okay, how much of this is really hug and how much is it I just don't want to go to bed? But I know she's really sincere, because she frequently tells me, Miss Wanda, I love you. And so I know she's sincere, that she really does want that hug. And then the next day we wake up and we start it all again. Um, Weekends, the children do what we call our weekly deep cleaning, which means we dust and mop and sweep and do those things that we don't have time to do during the week. And uh, that doesn't take very long. And then we try to find some activities to do. We may go to the park, or we may get outside and go to the little play area on the campus. Or during spring break one night, we built a fire and cooked marshmallows and hot dogs and giggled the whole time we were doing it because the girls kept burning their marshmallows. And it's pretty much like any home routine. It's just more of us, and a little bit takes a little bit more food and a little bit more laundry powder. But it's so much like the atmosphere that I grew up in. I also learned that I'm pretty flexible and pretty laid back, and I think the village and the kids did that for me. That you have to be flexible when you're working with kids, and you have to kind of pick what battle you're going to fight and what's really important compared to what I may think is important, what really is important. I've had the opportunity to see as a house parent the children that I worked with grow up and be a part of a lot of their lives, even as they're an adult, and to see them be successful, and to see that our ministry accomplishes what we hope that it's going to accomplish. And not everyone gets to see that as house parents. And as much as some people hate Facebook, I love it because it's kept me in touch with my kiddos through the years. As a result of that, I think as a house parent now, I work harder because I can see through my adult kids what I need to offer to the kids now to help them reach the same place that my adult kids are. And yeah, I call them my adult kids because they are my adult kids. I help rear them, and I instill some of my morals and my values and my love for God to them. And I think that's what gives me even more of a love and more of a passion. I'm more passionate now to work with the kids than I was my first time here, because you don't see the fruits of your labor, until you're older and they're older. And I'm sitting here in your beautiful home, and I'm going, I'm so proud of her. She's one of my blessings and one of my joys, and it's made me more passionate. I look at Scene and what he has accomplished in his lifetime, and when he became the executive director, I'm going, that's my kid. What are the chances that that little 5-year-old was going to become the executive director one day of the Baptist Children's Village? And I just look at the adult children now that I had and go, wow, they're so successful, and they're doing such a great job, and they're changing other people's lives. And that just really makes me more passionate to come back and help the children we have now to become responsible adults. God put it on my heart maybe 2 weeks ago that all I have to do is plant the seed. I don't have to make sure they become the responsible adult, because that's his job. But all I have to do is plant the seed. And if planting the seed means we're having spaghetti tonight because that's one kid's favorite and she asked for it, well, we're going to have spaghetti tonight. Kids are kids, no matter if they were your children or they're the village children. Kids are going to be kids, and they're going to do the things that kids do. And the long hours and the teaching and the rearing, it's worth it, And when you first come to the village, you go, okay, God, you put me here, but I'm not getting it. But with time, you do get it. And the number of times you go, okay, I want to quit. Well, you don't quit. You keep going, because God's love for us never quits. And He has put me in these kids' life to love them. And I think that's what makes the whole thing work, is just being willing to share your love. Even if a kid is mad at you and pouting with you, or goes to their room and just goes, leave me alone, give them their space, give them their time. They'll come out, they'll be fine. I think God just expects me to do my best to love them unconditionally, because these kids know if you're there for the right reason. They know if you're there because you love them and you care about them and you want to see them grow up to be responsible adults. That's my job, is to do what God, to rear these children the way God would want me to rear them, and to just show them respect. And if I show them respect, they're going to give me respect back. And just to be there for them when they're having a tough time, because sometimes you may just be the person they need when they hear, oh, well, that adoption isn't going to go through the way we thought it was, and they're just sitting there crying, and you're there crying with them because you understand how bad it hurts. And just to love them unconditionally. I learned about the ministry that what we do is a blessing, and that we do help children, and we do what our mission statement says we're going to do, that we take care of these children and we do our best to grow them to be responsible adults. And it may become routine, but what we do, we're accomplishing our mission statement. And first of all, the health insurance is wonderful, and there's gap insurance, and it's going to pick up what other things don't pick up. And the fact that the salary's decent, the salary, you're not going to get rich working at the Baptist Children's Village, but God's going to meet our needs no matter what we're making. I love what I'm making. The support is definitely a benefit. The retirement plan that's going to kick in when you've been there long enough for it to kick in. And what I think is so wonderful about the Children's Village is I'm a floating house parent. I call myself the PRN person, okay? But my job is to help a couple that's tired, or a couple that may be struggling. They're new. They hadn't quite figured it out. Well, they can call me, or someone can say, hey, Wanda, we have a new couple. They really want somebody there to support them and help them out a little bit more. Would you go spend a week with them, or would you go spend some days with them? And of course I'm going to, because I remember being that new person going, I wish I had someone here with me today, but that's my job. And I look at that as a benefit to the staff members, is there are some floating house parents out there that's what they do. They go if you're tired and you need some time off, let someone know you're tired and you need some time off, because we will get you the time off. And I love the work schedule for the regular house parents. It's 2 weeks on and 7 days off. I think that's awesome amount of time. I think that's a good balance of time for the staff to have. I can remember years and years ago, I think the whole month we maybe got 5 days off for a month. So that has increased so much that every 2 weeks you get a week's vacation, is the way I look at it. Recently at Brookhaven, one of the couples got COVID, and they sent me a text message of, Wanda, we have COVID. And I was like, oh my goodness, they need to be at home. So within an hour, I had packed a bag and told the campus director I'm on my way so they can go home. And to me, that was a blessing that I could relieve these people. They were so sick. So I think having the support system that you have now at the village is really a big benefit, a big blessing. I think the village does more than their share of benefits for us. We have a quarterly Bible study, devotion time. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Then we get a weekly newsletter every week. I look forward to that. It tells us who has a birthday so I can send them a card. You know, I just see that as a benefit to have that we never had in the past. And I don't know why we didn't think about it back then. You know, we were learning and growing, I guess, okay? And then every week our spiritual leader sends us a devotion, and I just love that. And he says things that he hasn't worked with us very long, but he's already figured us out and what we need to hear. And I think that's such a blessing. And I look at these things as benefits other than just the insurance and the time off and the salaries. I just look at that as a wonderful benefit. I lost a job because I was a Christian, so to be working in a Christian environment, that's pretty neat. That's a big benefit in my book. I'm free to talk about God anytime I want to. And the friends that you make and communities and churches, oh my goodness, that's just amazing. I've made some wonderful friendships through the years from working at the village, and those people are still very much a part of my life.